The water's coming out, and this is the #1 well where we just were. And it goes through these little pieces called coke rings. And all this does, it bounces the water around, and it dissipates nitrogen and increases the oxygen.
So Craig, now we have 4 different tanks here. They look the big fish. Now these are the broods that you put in the ponds?
These will eventually, some of them will go out into the ponds. We use 3-year-olds for brood stock.
Okay.
We use brown trout and brook trout.
Okay.
And so we take our own eggs here in the fall, usually the last week of October, first week of November.
Okay. And you get the eggs from the bigger fish.
Yes. What we do is we're out there, we bring out tables, and we're all in rain gear because it's usually raining.
Yeah.
And we just scoop up the females and squeeze the eggs out.
Yeah.
Pick up the male, squeeze the milk.
Okay.
Mix them together.
Okay. Then we bring them. Then they bring them over to the hatch house.
Bring them over to the hatch house. There's
right.
a guy in there who's cleaning them all up.
Yeah.
And then we Argentine them with an iodine solution for about 10 minutes.
What does that do?
It just kills any fungus on the outside.
Okay.
And then we put them in little baskets.
Yeah.
And wait 40 days.
Excellent. You want to go? Can we go look at the hatch house now?
Absolutely.
See what's in there?
Yep.
Let's go.
All right, so when we get the eggs finally, what we'll do is bring them in here and we'll put them in these baskets.
Okay.
Into these troughs.
Okay.
All right. Now, actually, you can see.
So this is what you did last October.
Well, no, these right here are Shasta rainbow trout.
Okay.
They're approximately 2.5 months old.
2.5 months. Okay.
So, but we'll put the baskets fit right in here.
Yep.
With the eggs.
Okay.
You cover them up. You make sure you cover eggs because of ultraviolet light will kill the eggs.
Okay.
That's why these covers are on.
Okay.
And we'll leave them there for about 42 days.
Okay.
And they'll start hatching out.
All right. And then little fish turn into a little bigger fish.
Yep. And then when they hatch out, they're called sack fry.
Okay.
They'll have a sack, a yolk sack that they live off of for probably 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And once that is absorbed, then they'll go to what we call swim up stage. They'll come up to the top, and then you start sprinkling the feed on.
Oh, okay. Excellent. So then I see all kinds of these tanks with the smaller fish. Are these all the fish that hatched from last year?
Yes, all the ones that are in the tanks are the ones we took in October.
Okay.
So
unbelievable.
EBT on the markings, that's Eastern Brook Trout.
Okay.
And then BT, we have 6 tanks of those. Those are brown trout.
Okay.
And then XT at the end, those are tiger trout.
Okay. Now the tiger trout, I know my dad loves to catch these fish. Now the tiger trout is a mix between a brown and a brook trout.
Yes.
And it's the milk of the brown trout?
No, it is used the eggs of the brown
eggs
trout.
Of the brown.
And the milt.
The milt
of the brook trout.
Okay. Eggs of the brown, milt of the brook trout.
Yes.
Very good. And that makes it a beautiful fish. I mean, beautiful. What distinguishes them, from a tiger trout than say from a brook trout? Are they more aggressive, or are they
not really
hardy?
more aggressive? It's just more of the characteristics of the looks.
Yeah.
On the back of a brook trout, you'll have the little squiggly lines, those are called vermiculations.
Okay.
But on a tiger trout, the vermiculations are all through the whole body.
Okay. Cool.
So, very, very pretty fish.
Yeah, I caught one day a few years ago from a river, and I said, I didn't know what I had here. And I looked it up, and a beautiful fish though.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Excellent. So this is great. This is great. All full tanks here, and then from here, what's the next stage?
From here, we'll take these, and then they'll go outside into a larger tank. But we won't put as many in. You want to keep your densities down because then they'll grow better.
Okay.
So these will go outside to other tanks. Okay. And
from there,
we'll hold these for. The brook trout and the brown trout and the tiger trout are all stocked out at 2.5 years old.
2.5 years old.
Where rainbows about 1.5 years.
Okay, so the rainbows just grow bigger?
Yes, they'll grow faster. We'll get about 1.5 inch growth a month with a rainbow, where 3/4 of an inch with the browns and the brooks and the tigers.
Very interesting. Okay, so the rainbow end up being the bigger, grow the largest out of all the species, of all the different species of trout.
I wouldn't say they grow the largest,
Okay.
they grow the fastest.
They grow the fastest. So there's so many, all these different fish in the tanks, and they're all great fish, but there's one fish that's probably a little bit more famous in this hatchery than all these other trout.
Yeah, that would be the blue rainbow trout that we have out there.
Blue rainbow trout.
Yep.
Now, how'd you come across him? And that's very unique.
One day we found him, and it was only about 6, 7 inches long.
Okay.
And then we segregated him from everybody else so he could grow a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And then you know,
now he's famous. He's
yes.
on the front page of the Cape Cod Times,
Yeah.
and you know. And are you ever going to let him go for someone to catch him someday?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should just stick around for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, you know, to use for a tool for education for the
Yeah.
kids. We get a lot of field trips here.
Yeah.
So, you know, the kids, you can show them.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is great.
there's also another color phase, the yellow phase of the trout. I've never seen one of those before.
Oh, really?
I've
Okay.
only seen a few blue ones before.
Well, I think what makes trout so special is, you know, just the colors. You know, with the rainbow, when you have that beautiful maroon stripe and the greens, and then of course the brown trout with those beautiful yellows and browns in different spots. So, beautiful fish.
Yeah, they are.
But the popular guy is out there, and who knows what's going to happen to him. So, hey, thanks a lot.
Yep.
So the hatch house is pretty cool there, Craig. Now we talked about how we get the eggs from the brook trout and the brown trout. Where do you get your eggs from the rainbows?
We get them from the federal government.
Okay.
We have a program with they're disease-free.
Okay.
They're from the federal hatchery system.
Okay, that's great. So beautiful. Makes up all the different species here. And as you can see, there's you do a lot of tour groups and school groups that come in.
A lot of field trips, especially this time of year coming up, the end of the year.
Right.
There'll be tons of
kids running around,
Yeah.
looking at the fish, feeding the fish.
Yep.
And excellent. Now, what's great about the Cape is you have so many. Obviously, the striped bass are great. So many places to fish with stripers right down the street, but it's also a fantastic place to come down and catch trout.
Oh yeah, it is.
You know, there's so many great ponds.
There's 365 ponds on the Cape.
Okay.
One for every day of the year.
Oh,
so
there you
you
go.
can fish every day and not hit the same pond.
And the seasons are open the whole year, so you could really try. That'd be a good
and we
task.
stock probably 25 ponds on the Cape.
Okay. Now you're going to stock one today, and
Yep.
can we follow you along and
absolutely.
see what goes on?
We're going to go to Peters Pond.
Peters Pond. Let's go.
All right.
Nice fish.
So see, now what I do is I've got 10 pounds in the bucket,
Yep.
and now I'll just count them. I'll do 5 weight samples,
Okay.
and then we know how many fish there are per pound.
Okay.
12.
12 fish per pound.
12. Well, 12 fish
12
in that
fish
10
in that
pound.
10-pound bag. So.
Right. Yeah, I'm doing 10s.
So they're all a little bit over a pound, pretty much, on that sample.
Right.
There's 1.12 fish per pound.
Okay.
Okay, so I need 400 fish.
Right.
So I just take 400, divide by 1.12 equal. I need 357 pounds to give me
Okay.
my 400 fish.
Okay.
That's how we do everything
okay.
here is by weight.
By weight.
It would take all day to try to count them by hand.
Right. Right. So you just do that, and so the 400, those fish, that number of fish, the 400 fish, are the number that will be going into Peters Pond today.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So then the other ones we're going to be getting down below.
Right.
We will hand count
Okay.
because they're so big.